Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to take your Retroid Pocket 4 or any other Android handheld device like the Odin 2 and make it into a gaming handheld, a proper gaming handheld with a proper launcher. And that launcher is going to be console launcher, which I'll be showing off in just a minute. Let's go ahead and jump into this tutorial. The first thing you're going to want to do is really to make things easier here, create a few folders on the root of your device, one called ROMs, and then inside that, we're going to cover GameCube and PS2, and then I'll also mention Switch toward the end, but we're going to cover GameCube and PS2 in a bit more depth. So I have these here. I also have some games. Obviously, I can't tell you where to get those other than just ripping them from a disk, or if you can navigate the internet, you may be able to find something. But make those folders, and then also you're going to make a BIOS folder. So do that, and we're going to put the PS2 BIOS in there. That's mine. For GameCube, you don't need anything like that. Then in the description, I have some links that you're going to want to download from. First thing is Dolphin emulator. If you don't already have this installed, you probably do. You're going to go to the dolphinemu.org website and then download. We're going to do this one here for Android. And we will go to the next one here as well. This is the Nether SX2 Classic. This was just released, actually. It's the developer of the Nether SX2 mod for Aether SX2, but they started releasing a APK file, which is nice. So we're going to download that. And again, I'll have these linked in the description here. And the last thing we want is console launcher. We're going to go down to releases, go here, download this. Looks like I already have it, but I'll just download it again. We're going to go into our download folder. Okay, we'll go ahead and install this. We'll go ahead and install this one. And the last one, console launcher. Go ahead and install that. We also need to download RetroArch. If you go to the Play Store and search for RetroArch, you can find that there. And we will let that install. All right, we have all the apps we need. So let's go ahead and launch Nether SX2 first, and you'll get this nice setup screen. Go ahead and click Next, Next. We're going to leave it on optimal safe for now. If you want, you can go to fast unsafe, but I think it's good to just start on that. We'll go to widescreen and leave those. We'll do 1.5, and we can go from there. We have our BIOS that we imported before, so I'll go ahead and select that. Game directories. Go to our ROMs folder, PS2, and we'll see all the games. Allow, and finish. And give it just a minute. Okay, so we have that. Let's go into the controller settings. Go to controller port 1, and then we'll automatically map these here. If we want it to match the PlayStation layout, then we're going to change this to the proper layout here, since it's using the Nintendo layout, obviously, so you want to change that to match the Xbox style. That is if you have it set to the retro style on this. Otherwise, you can just map it how it did by the default. So we have that. And also, if you want, you can go into app settings go to memory cards, import memory card. I have mine backed up here, so I'll just import this one. And there we go, my game saves will be there. And we will go ahead and leave all these other settings here. Now let's go into Dolphin. Continue. We'll do yes. Add games. So we're going to find our folder here. And it looks like had it selected. I'll just go that one more time. Your ROMs folder, add those, allow. And it'll bring all these up here. We're going to go into the settings. GameCube input, press the gear. We'll enable that. And we'll go in here and map all these. You map the sticks, make sure that it says axis with the 1 plus or minus and then the 0, just to make sure. Sometimes if you do it wrong, you can get it to kind of give a weird input. It's not doing it right now, but I believe it will say full axis or something. And then you'll notice that the stick will be held down in game. So just watch for that if you notice that. That happened to me when I was setting it up. We'll do our triggers. Use the analog since it does support that. And the D-pad. Okay. Then we can go into graphics settings. We'll turn this on. We'll do 16:9 again. Under enhancements, we'll actually we'll turn this on. And then if any games have issues with it, we can go in and change those manually. We'll leave everything else default and then make changes as we go. Although in F0GX, I am going to go here, hold that, edit game settings, config, general, and enable dual core. Since for some reason this specific game, I think there might be others too, but this one is disabled. Go ahead and do that, give us a nice performance boost. We're good there. Now we're going to go RetroArch. Wait for it to load up a little bit. We're going to go to this gear down here. Go to user interface. We're going to make this a little more usable first. I like the Ozone, or you can do XMB. We'll go home, configuration file, save current configuration. We'll close these, go back into RetroArch, and you can see it has this layout. It's a little better. You can kind of see what's going on a little better here. Now we're going to go to Online Updater, Core Downloader, and we're just going to download the cores that we want to use. In this case, I'm going to get this one and this one. Do this one here. You can mix and match whatever ones you want. If you don't have good performance with one, you can change that. It's pretty easy to do within the launcher settings, which I'll be showing you later. We'll do this one. You can see it'll show that little hashtag there when it's installed. Do this one. Some of these I don't have all the ROMs for, but I'll just install this one too. Okay. And there we go. I think we should be good there. Now let's go back home, launch console launcher, continue. Now this process can take some time, especially if you have quite a few games here. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but I'll show you what the beginning of this looks like. It's going to give us a little setup. Okay, so we'll set it as the default launcher. I like the game icons, and then we'll do both here. Now you can do whatever you want. I like the Steam grid. Okay, we'll select our ROMs. Now I'll also show you how you can choose individual ROM paths, which usually works a little bit better, but it should map a lot of our ROMs that we have here just by selecting this general folder. Okay. If you want to do retro achievements here, you can also do that, but I'll just skip it. And yeah, like I said, this will take a few minutes, so I will jump ahead when this is just about to finish here. All right, so we're just about done here, but I wanted to mention one thing before we get started with this. The app is free to use, and it does give you a decent amount of features to use, but it also has a premium version for $5, and I think it's totally worth it because it does give you some extra customization options. I believe the size of the icon is one of those options. I can't remember what other ones there are, but I would recommend just buying it for $5 because it's been very worth it for me, and I've gotten a lot of use out of it. This is easily my favorite launcher, so it's worth it. And you can even go in and request features and talk with a developer and stuff like that. They for purchasing it, so I would say it's worth it. So it looks like we're done here, and you can see it has mapped, or not mapped, it has installed all of my ROMs. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so you can see it a little better. But I don't really want it to look like this, so I will show you what we're going to do. First, we'll just remove this from home. Remove. You can keep these if you want. You'll see here if I go into it, it brings up the games. But I'm going to remove this, and we're going to do it a little differently. So I'll go here, remove, remove. Okay. So now if we press the plus and then choose home shortcuts, you'll see that all the ROMs we have are now listed. So we're going to tap on each one of these and do that. This Balatro is the Android version. That's included as well. We'll do that. Do all these games. Now you don't have to do all of them if you don't want to. You can just select a few and cycle through them. But just for the demonstration here, I'm going to select all these just so you can kind of see what it looks like. And I believe I got them all. Okay. You can also do other things like GeForce Now. I'll do that. Any other apps. So you can see now the ROMs are showing up here, which is really cool. But we can make it look even better. So we're going to go to this settings tab, and I will walk you through each one of these. So here we have the music volume, the banner volume. I haven't used that yet, but I tend to just not really have any music here, so I'm going to turn this down. And then if you want to do vibration or no, I'll just turn it off because I prefer not to have it on the menu. Go to other, leave orientation. You can have it open apps in Android TV mode, Samsung DeX support. And then if you're using your phone, use the notch spacer to give you a little more room on this side wherever the camera is. And then just some maintenance stuff. Okay, and we'll go to customize, theme. You can change the overall theme of the launcher here. So we'll just do, let's see, we'll do that one. Home menu. This, I'll show you later. It kind of changes the layout of the dock. In fact, I'll show you right now. So this is how it looks right now. If we go back into it, theme, immersive, now it's up there. This one kind of looks cool. I'll leave it like that for now. Now let's see, did I miss anything here? No. Oh yeah, you can choose which shortcuts to show in the app drawer if you really want to. We'll go to icons. Now this is the shape of it basically. So we'll do poster. That's what it looks like there. That's what I prefer. But you also have banner, which it does look pretty good actually. And you have, we'll just go to poster. And then we'll leave these two. You can change it what it looks like in the app drawer and the folders. We'll leave those. Leave it on rounded square. No icon pack. I don't have any installed right now. Let's see. Now the home icon size, I'm going to turn this all the way up here because I think that looks nice. You see, it looks a little better. Okay. All right, now while we're on the topic of icons, if you want to change one of these, so for instance, I have the Latro icon here, go to edit, and then tap on the poster or whatever one you have installed. We'll do web search, and then it'll have Steam Grid DB. Wait for this to load, and we'll just select that one, do save, and there we go. We'll do that with Hades as well. Okay. And Minecraft. If you've used the Steam Grid DB plugin on the Steam Deck, then this will be familiar to you. It works in a very similar way. It's really nice. We'll just leave that one. We'll move on here. So now you have wallpapers. If you want, you can choose Android wallpaper, and then we'll do with gallery. And I have this wallpaper that I set. You can do set as lock screen. I kind of like just having a plain home screen here, but if you want, I believe you can also set the wallpaper for the home screen. Let's see. So we'll go to folders. We'll leave those the same. You basically just change the view of the folder. This is the Steam Grid DB settings, so you can kind of configure this if you want. You can make it apply to all different apps. So your music, your notes. I don't do that myself. We have the dock. I'm going to take this music player off because I don't use that. You can also do transparent dock, which we'll do, and we'll change the battery indicator to text. And there we go. Now this is where we configure the front end stuff, and during the initial setup, a lot of this was done automatically, but we'll just go in and check it. So you can see here it has our platforms. You can also auto create different platforms if you want to, but I think it's easier to just do it myself. We'll check the GameCube one. The path is set to ROM, which is okay. The player, do GameCube or Dolphin, which it should do that automatically, but we'll just make sure that it is set there. We'll do this one. I'm not going to show the setup for Sudachi, but if you want to install it and get the keys and firmware set up, make sure you have that firmware installed, or else you're going to have issues with certain games like Mario Kart 8. But we'll do this one here. You can do Aether SX2. That'll still work with the Nether SX2 app we have. And then if you want to add any games, what you want to do, say you copy some new games over, you're just going to go here, press sync files, and you'll see that pop up in the background, and then scrape media. And it'll go through and scrape the PS2 games or whatever you're doing. If you want to change something, so for instance, we'll add in, I think I have Game Boy Advance on here as well. We'll do a fresh one. So we'll do the path. I think it's under, let's see, Retro ROMs. Do this path here. And then we'll do MGBA RetroArch, sync files, scrape media. And there's two. We'll do, let's see, Super Nintendo. There it is. Should be able to just do the root of that folder there. And then SNES 9X, sync files, scrape. Okay. Now if we go back, it should have those games. Let's see. Oh yeah, we'll do this. We'll clear this out. Go in here, choose shortcuts, and you'll see it's finding it's going a little slow because I'm in my basement here, but go ahead and add all these. It's finding the art for all these. Just add a bunch of these here, and they'll load up as we go. We'll just do those ones just to demonstrate, but yeah, it's definitely going a little slow, but those will be added in eventually, so we'll come back to those. But back to the settings, front end. You can change the theme, so if you want to change basically what was at the beginning, you can do that. I like this theme grid DB, it just looks really clean. And then you can do these here. Combine game files, if there's like multiple things like 2-disc GameCube games or whatever, simplify game titles. And if you add any new games, you can also update platforms here. Here you can set up Discord rich presence, local backups, which I haven't tried out yet. Cloud sync, which will be interesting. Then you can do controls. It has a little controller manager thing you can mess around with. And then just a few different things, look and feel, swap A, B, and XY buttons. So yeah, we will go ahead and test out a game here. When you first launch it, it'll give you this. You'll just press OK and then do it again. We'll pause the game, press this little controller thing up there, go to touch screen, and then hide with external controller. And we should be in some 007 Nightfire. Alright guys, here we are. As you can see, it is working. This is the PS2 version, obviously, as you saw. And we're working pretty good here. So we'll press home. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you're still going to want to clear out your processes every now and then, just to make sure that it's running smoothly, just like any other Android device. We'll test out the GameCube. Same thing, press OK, and launch once again. We will go press the back button, go to overlay controls, and then let's see, toggle controls, toggle all. And it looks like we're working pretty well here. I didn't transfer my saves for this game, or the GameCube games in general, but we will just go back there. And then we'll test out, let's see, test out Android game. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention you can move icons around if you double tap, like this, and double tap it again. You can also have it set to sort your icons. Let's see, where was that? There we go. We'll change this to recently played, actually. I didn't mention that. That way it'll show whatever one you've played recently over there. Now let's test, let's see, one of these ones over here for RetroArch. Do Earthbound. And Earthbound is working great. I'm pretty proud of this game save here. Alright, so as you can see, those are working. We'll do one more. We'll do Game Boy Advance. By the way, I'll show you real quick. Game Boy Advance is working, but let me show you. Forgot to mention this for RetroArch, but if we go over, we'll go here, and then go to our RetroArch there. We're going to hide our controller. So we'll go on-screen display, screen overlay, display overlay off, go back, and then main menu, configuration file, save current configuration once again. Then if we launch one of these games here, the controller overlay should be off. Also, I want to show you how to map the back button so we can get to the menu. So we'll go into hotkeys, go all the way down to menu, press and hold the back button there. Should map that. Go back, save configuration once more, and that should allow us to enter the menu. There we go. Now we'll launch one of these Game Boy Advance games. If you find that your controls are reversed, so B is A is B, etc., we can go to Controls, Port 1, and change these. Looks like I have it on Nintendo, so it'll actually be fine. But if you're using a device that doesn't have that layout, like it has the Xbox layout, then you can change those if you want it to match up. So we should be good there. All right, guys, we are all set. Let me show you what the other icon setup looks like here. If I go to default, this is the one that I usually use as you've seen, but I'm actually going to go in and set this to immersive because I kind of like it like that. If you guys have any questions about this setup process, please let me know. I know this is kind of a long video, but the setup process is totally worth it. And it's quite easy once you know what to do. You can add other systems as you've seen and just mess around with the layout. But thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate your time here. If you watched to the end, I especially appreciate you. I love each and every one of you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.